Donald Trump was interviewed by Megyn Kelly and it went bad quick. These are some almost surreal moments. The topic of Dr. Anthony Fauci was brought up by Megyn Kelly to Donald Trump, and Trump starts playing completely dumb about Fauci. This is so weird to see. Check this out. One of the stranger interviews I've seen Trump do.
Storm, quoting your words. Then for the first time in May...
I also said I didn't listen to him too much.
I'm getting there. But then in May, you started saying, well, he's a civil servant, so I couldn't technically. The truth is, though, not only did you not fire Fauci, who is loathed by many, millions of Republicans in particular, but also some Democrats.
By the way...
You made him a star. You made him a star. This is the criticism of you, that you made him the face of the White House coronavirus task
You think so?
force, that he was out at every presser, that he was running herd for the administration on COVID, and that you actually gave him a presidential commendation before he left office. Wouldn't you like a do-over on that?
I don't know who gave him the commendation. I really don't know who gave him the commendation.
Presidential commendation. One went out for Mark
Somebody
Milley, too.
probably...
He got a presidential commendation while Trump was president. I don't know where that came from, Megyn. So, I'm going to admit, this is one of Trump's less idiotic answers, even though he's obviously lying and playing dumb. He got a commendation. I don't know anything about it. Who gave him that? Trump really can't win either way on this one, right? If Trump goes after Fauci, well, it's a doctor who is trying to do the right thing. If Trump defends Fauci, his base will be angry. So Trump just goes, listen, I don't know anything about it. People disliked him. I don't know. I don't know who gave him the commendation. But it's always a lie from Trump, one way or the other. They stayed on the topic of Fauci for a little bit, and Trump went after DeSantis for shutting down Florida when Megyn Kelly tried to make the point, listen, it wasn't mandatory to listen to Fauci. DeSantis didn't listen to Fauci. And Trump says, no, DeSantis did terribly.
We're not good people. But I was not a big fan of Fauci. If you look at Ron DeSanctimonious, this guy said the greatest things. I can give you articles that, well, Fauci's great. He's wonderful. We love him. We don't do anything without Fauci. This went on for months.
But he didn't listen to Fauci.
He did 100%. Look,
he shut down Florida for a month.
He shut down Florida.
For a month.
Oh, he shut it down for a lot longer. He shut down the beaches. He shut down the roads. He shut down a hospital. He was shutting down everything. He also had long lines of people getting the jab, as he called it. Let's all go get the jab. The guy tried to change history in Florida. Now, eventually Florida was open, but a lot of these other guys were not.
So this is super interesting because Trump really is between a rock and a hard place on the COVID stuff. Trump wants to warn about forthcoming lockdowns he won't do, except the lockdowns that we had, to the extent we had them, took place under Trump. Trump wants to frame himself as the freedom guy, except it is true that there are Republican governors that, quote, opened states while Trump was still saying shut stuff down. Trump wants to take credit for the vaccines that he claims he helped develop, even though he really didn't. He just said, hey, we'll buy vaccines and we'll give you some of the money up front, which is totally normal. Most countries did it if they could afford to do it. Trump wants to take credit for the vaccines, but much of his following base hates the vaccines. So Trump is in a tough spot on COVID, mostly because of the monster that he created. And it's very interesting to see. Trump then randomly bringing up Caitlyn Jenner and saying, I knew Caitlyn as Bruce, who was very handsome as Bruce. And all of a sudden, it's Caitlyn. Who the hell knows? Bizarre moment from the interview.
I knew Caitlyn as Bruce. I knew Bruce. And, Bruce was a great athlete and a very handsome person, a very handsome guy. And all of a sudden, Bruce is Caitlyn. I said, what's this all about? This
It's very confusing. I knew Bruce.
was a brand new subject, too.
Yeah, it's all brand new to Trump. I knew Bruce, and all of a sudden it's Caitlyn, but Bruce was handsome as well. Bizarre. And then the last moment of this interview that was previewed, because the full thing actually is going to be published tonight, and we'll look at it again if there's anything else notable. The topic of the 2016 debate came up. You may remember that there was this 2016 Republican debate, which Megyn Kelly actually anchored. And Megyn Kelly confronted Trump about some of the things he had said about women, Trump thought it was an unfair question. Trump responded by attacking Rosie O'Donnell, by the way, which I asked Rosie about in my interview with her. Here's a reminder of that moment from 2016. Then we will look at their discussion about this yesterday.
Mr. Trump, one of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account...
All right. And so it went on from there, and it was sort of one of those viral moments. The topic of that came up. Trump said the question was nasty.
Me a question when you were moderating the debate for Fox, that frankly, if I didn't come up with the answer only Rosie O'Donnell, I would have had a problem with that. That was a bad question.
That was a great question.
No, it was a nasty
It was
question.
awesome.
You know, there are questions that are, it's not that they're not answerable, but no matter, if you're Winston Churchill, he was very good at the
You handled it well. Your poll numbers went up.
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I got a little bit lucky. I came up with a good.
So Trump basically says the question was nasty when you confronted me with my words verbatim to women, disgusting words. It was a nasty question and there's really no way to answer it. You know, I think in retrospect, is there some better way that Trump could answer something like that? He did get a bunch of applause for saying Rosie O'Donnell. And even though it was a disgusting thing to do and say, a lot of the right-wing crowd actually liked it. It is true. It helped Trump the way he answered it. There is a way to answer that. You know, it's sort of like, when did you stop beating your wife? It's often framed as the epitome of the unanswerable question. Trump could have said something along the lines of, listen, I don't, I am not going to be controlled in terms of the way I talk about people by political correctness and left-wing ideologues who want to police my speech. Yeah, sometimes I use harsh words, but everybody knows with me where they stand. I'll tell you what I think about you. I'll tell you what I think, and that's how I will be president. I'm not going to equivocate. I'm going to be on. You could come up with something like that if you're confronted with vile words you've said about women before. So I disagree with Trump that it was unanswerable. But Megyn Kelly is right. He came up with an answer that for their audience actually worked really well. Bonkers interview with Megyn Kelly. We'll look at more clips from it when they're released. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. We'll have some of these clips on TikTok. We'll take the quickest of quick breaks and then continue. Breaking bad habits can be really tough, but Fume is on a mission to make it a lot easier. Now, let me again remind everybody, our sponsor Fume is not a vape. I would not be advertising vapes. There's no nicotine. There's nothing electronic. Fume is just a small wooden cylinder that delivers tasty plant-flavored air. That's all it is, okay? First of all, people love the flavor. Bunch of flavors: crisp mint, maple pepper, orange, vanilla, raspberry, lemon. Okay. There's the physicality of the device. It fits in your pocket. You carry it around. It gives you something to hold up to your mouth. So if you're breaking a bad habit, the hand-to-mouth piece of it is a big deal. Your hands want something to do. This gives you that. It also has an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, which you can just fidget with when it's away in your pocket, which is also useful for some people who are trying to break these habits. Just go and read the reviews online. Fume has transformed bad habits for thousands of people. It's a great alternative for the hand-to-mouth habit. Go to tryfume.com. Use the code PACMAN to save 10% when you get the Journey Pack, which comes with the device and several flavors to try. The link is down below.